Welcome back. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. Here with Deborah Schreiner, Jim Leahy. And what I wanted to mention, though, is my favorite time of year is the Freedom Summit time of year.
Oh!
It's coming up next Saturday. So
Saturday, October 27th at the Westin Chicago
I want to hear that again.
Northwest.
Do that again.
Freedom!
There you go. Freedom Summit.
Saturday, October 27th, Westin Chicago Northwest. That's 400 Park Boulevard in Itasca, Illinois. I actually know exactly where it is because I just saw the...
and you were there last year, I believe.
No, I was there last year, and also I was there for the 4th of July because they have the second largest fireworks display in the nation.
Let me Itasca you a question. When is the Freedom Summit?
Next Saturday.
Saturday, October 27th.
And Sheriff David Clark... We all know who David Clark is.
Cop Under Fire.
Yeah, but we all know who he is. Here's my favorite part about it. At Freedom Summit, conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, and Tea Party members will come together for a one-day event. I like that because it's true. All conservatives aren't Republicans. Republicans aren't all conservatives. Libertarians are. These are different groups, and sometimes they all get mashed together.
Let's give an idea to everybody
groups.
What's going on. At Freedom Summit 2018, conservatives, Republicans, and libertarians and Tea Party members will come together for a one-day event to explore ways to navigate the changing political landscape. Will Republicans avoid the so-called blue wave and maintain control of the House and the Senate in November?
That's a big question.
How will the outcome of the Mueller investigation affect Trump's ability to enact his agenda? What will the Democrats' field of presidential candidates look like as we approach the start of the 2020 cycle? And what will happen in Illinois if Rauner loses in November? These questions will be tackled at Freedom Summit 2018. Don't miss out. Call today.
It's a lot of fun. Tickets are still available. A lot of fun. I think it's a whole day event. So
Joe Walsh, Amy Jacobson, Dan Proft are going to be
all
there.
My favorite people.
Great. It's going to be
I vacation with those people.
Visit 560theanswer.com
That's right.
for tickets.
Now let's go right into the next segment, which is the blog segment. It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog. So we're running out of time here. We have a couple because we have so much to talk about.
I'm really running out of time, but I'm going to talk about what
we're about to talk about. You need a whole segment.
Well, it's true. I do. And what I wanted to, the title of this segment is I'm going to call it Let's Talk About Bankruptcy, because it's really about the whole thing about bankruptcy. Okay. Because now my office is not a bankruptcy, lawyer's office. Okay. There's lawyers who just do bankruptcy. That's all they do. I don't do that. Okay. So I don't do a ton of bankruptcy cases like some of these others that are out there. Okay. But the cases that I tend to do are much more complicated. Okay. Because, hey, guess what? Bankruptcy might be one of the reasons to help. One of the 6 things you can do if you owe the IRS money. And so when you talk about bankruptcy and taxes, very complicated area of the law. And so that's why I do complicated cases. Another complicated area is overcoming the presumption of abuse for people who make more than the average person there, because the bankruptcy code says that people who make more than the average person, average more family, their size, of their size, they're not supposed to be able to file a Chapter 7. Now, there's ways you can go about to do that, and I tend to help people who are higher income people overcome the presumption of abuse, and that's what. So most of the cases I do are a lot more complicated than the average case, and so I'm not. Again, I don't really. There's cases out there. There's people that will do bankruptcies for $800, or there's one out there that's called 1K for BK or something like that, $1,000 for a bankruptcy. And one of the problems with this, and I think I blame the courts, because the courts scrutinize the fees that lawyers can charge, and so. I think it's a race to the bottom. Let's try to charge the least amount. But the problem is, when you charge the least amount, you're going to get the least, right? All they're going to do is they become really just petition preparers, which is they just fill out some paperwork and file it with the court. They don't really give you good information. They don't really do a lot of follow up, and they don't really do a lot of explaining. Right? They don't do a lot of explaining about telling you about how it all works. Exactly. About how it all works. And that's that's why it's right for some people. But if you own anything, or if you have if you have a regular job that you make some money, then you need to get somebody that you can trust and somebody that really understands and is going to spend the time to explain it all to you. And that's what I kind of do. I do take some cases that are not my normal case. I just took one this week that wasn't my normal case. She came in and talked to me, and I think that some lawyers have taken advantage of her in the past, and I didn't want to just throw her out to the sharks. Here you go. Here you need help, but go find somebody to help you, because I'm not going to help you. I couldn't get myself to do it, so I took this case, and again, that's my job. Is I try to help people and try to explore people, but I'm not right for everybody. I'm not the cheapest attorney out there.
That's what? That's a sign of a true professional, is being able to admit, hey, listen, I'm not generally for everyone. I will help you with your case, but I will help you also guide you to somebody who knows that's can help.
And I actually. She came in and talked to me. She also had some tax problems. So what I said, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to pull a free report for you so we can figure out where you stand with the IRS. And then I'll give that report to whoever you decide to hire, because I said I'm not really the right guy to hire. But she said,
how many attorneys really do that?
Well, what happened, again, not much, because I'm not looking to make, I'm not... I wasn't looking to land another case. It's like, oh, let's just get another one in here. But anyway, she did present to me, and she said, I'd really like you to handle the case for me. So she talked me into it, and I'm doing it at a reduced fee. And I'm not telling you that because I'm not trying to say, hey, come to me, I'm going to do a reduced fee. And this is what I was telling her. There's only so much time in a day, right? And as a lawyer, all you charge is for your time, right? And there's only so much time in a day. So you have to kind of focus. And this is where I kind of fault the courts, because the courts kind of tell you what you can charge. And then if I'm going to pick, how I have an office down at 115 North Michigan Avenue in Chicago, and now it's called the Crane Business. They just redid the lobby. Beautiful. Anyway, it's a beautiful building, and my rent is unbelievably high, and my taxes are unbelievably high, and all this stuff costs a lot of money, and so I have to focus on trying to make some money to pay the bills, like everybody else. And now some of these larger outfits, they have places downtown too, but they do by the volume. They just do, and they don't really give the people the attention that they deserve. I think it's not the way I practice law. Okay, again, everybody's different, and I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. I'm not saying that they're doing it wrong. They just do it differently than I do. And because in my office we spend a lot of time with people. Now, Jim and I were talking about, sometimes I think people, whether they can file a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 7, and it really depends on your situation. So, for instance, you might qualify for a Chapter 7, but you wanted to do a Chapter 13 because maybe you have two mortgages, and maybe you can get rid of that second mortgage and then keep your house with only one mortgage. You can't do that with the Chapter 7, but you may be able to do it with the Chapter 13. So these this is when it gets complicated. And again, if you own a home, if you're in a higher income, if you owe the IRS money, these are situations where you don't want to just hire the first guy in the phone book, if there is such a thing anymore, or your first Google search, right? You want to get somebody that's really going to spend the time, because you want to understand it. Okay, if you have any kind of assets, you have a large 401k, you have a large wedding ring, you have a large, these things come into play. And so if you have anything like that, then you don't want to just hire the first guy out there that's just going to do the paperwork and run you through at the cheapest price. Okay, and so these are the people that I tend to help. Bankruptcy is not the focus of my practice, but I do some bankruptcies, and we spend the time, and I understand the process very well. I've been doing bankruptcies for 18 years or more.
And that's one of the most important things, ladies and gentlemen, is that open tax resolution is not just fresh off the street. They've been there before. They've stepped up against the IRS. They've been in the ring time and time again and have come out on top.
That's true.
Multiple times. Maybe more than once. I'll say that. Anyway, OPEB tax resolution 312-664-6649. Visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoy what you just listened to. If you want to get a copy of the blog report, go to ChicagoTaxTeam.com. Go to YouTube, watch our live stream every Friday, and watch the previous videos. Answers are out there. Here on AM 560.
The answer.